We made pretty good progress on our road rage project. I wanted to show you a little bit about what we're going to do. I had talked about on my previous video a little bit about where I'm going to do with this intake. This was the original plenum, and it come off to the side, and it was creating a lot of problems with my battery location. I was having to relocate it, and I was going to move my blower pump for the water pump for the blower. So I found this small inlet right here that come off an 04 GTO, and I plumbed it right into my cowl. I got with K&M filters to find out this motor right here needs about 810 CFM. So 2 of these filters, this was my template for my filter. That's 810 CFM between the both of them. I need about 700 total for the motor, so there'll be plenty of air. And then I'm going to actually cut this cowl out. I'm going to integrate these into the cowl right here, and then these will actually pull fresh air in from my cowl, which will be cool, fresh air with a small amount of charge on it from the windshield. So I'm going to get to work in here, and I will try to keep you updated on how this project comes along. Alright, after I took my measurements for the size of filter that I'm going to install right here, I drew that out, and I have actually cut and removed all the original wiper motor area. Then where these come down, and I cut that flat, I've rolled that metal back to give it a little bit of strength. Notice here the windshield, even though I'm just using a grinder on this cut this out right now, I always cover that up or it will stick to that glass and ruin that glass. I got this from Heat Shield Products. It's a welding blanket, works like a champ. Then from here, I'm going to take me a piece of cardboard. I'll tape another piece of this so it's long enough to fit across here, and I will cut this out of cardboard. And the next step will be I'll go in the back, I'll cut that out of a piece of 18 gauge sheet metal, and then I'll start putting some bead rolls in it and cut it out and make it where these fit in place. Well, I got to strolling along pretty good on this cowl induction here, and didn't keep up my video work, so I've made quite a few advancements since my last little update. I got this piece of cardboard taped together so it would be long enough for what I needed. I've marked it out. Underneath here, I took my shear and sheared me some strips about 2.5 inches or so wide, so I could make me around a 3/4 inch bend on each side of it. Put it in my shrinker, stretched that little bit of an arc to it to match the cowl, and this is going to give me a landing and some support for my filters underneath my sheet metal. So I got one of them underneath there. Then I cut me made another one, made some little short ones that run from top to bottom so my filter will land on them. Then underneath here, voila. How's that looking now? We've got our cool charged air coming in our cowl. We weren't going to use our wipers anyway. Gives us a nice clean look. Gets our plenum out of the way over here so I can stick this blower through the hood. Gets it to my battery where I can keep it in the original location. And it's just a really cool look. So I'm going to get back at it here. I'm going to seam seal this seam. Then I'm going to come in here and wipe and clean all this up. And my new cowl piece, I have an old one up there that's been butchered up. My new one's not here yet. So can't wait to get my new one in, because you'll see these behind that vent, and that's going to look pretty cool. Then if it gets out in the rain where the vent section is in the cowl, we're going to have some black filters. This car will be painted solid black, so we'll have some black magnets cut that if he happens to get out in the rain, he can just drop the magnet over top of the vent. It'll completely cover that. It'll still draw cool air from up under here, and should be really nice. So let me get back at it here, and I will give you an update as I get a little further along, show you what this looks like, and hopefully get that intake system on there, and we'll fire this puppy up and see what it sounds like. Well, gang, it's the moment of truth on our Road Rage 69 Camaro here. I've done all this wiring and chopping up of the wiring harness and this and that and putting this into the cowl, and you saw how I put my air filters in there. You can see how my cowl looks now. Right here is now actually my intake, and I was telling you about the little magnets. We'll just have some little magnets cut that are black, so if he does get out in the rain, we'll have them in the trunk or stick them somewhere. He can just throw them right over here. He can still draw air from in between the fender and in there and get air to get him home. And you notice that I've removed my coil packs. I've made me some little coil pack boxes and mounted them down the frame, which I'll show you that in here in a second. But it's a moment of truth. Let's see if this thing will fire up. I've got it kind of engineered on my wiring, and here we go. I've got this thing running pretty good. I'm gonna keep my running just minimum as possible so I can get this DVR and let them tune it just to make sure that it's not running too lean or any issues with that. Then they'll put this on a dyno tune it, make sure it's nice and safe. So let me give you a little closer look at what I got going here. And I was pointing this belt system. This belt system is completely handmade. I've got so much stuff going on with power steering, air conditioning, all that. I couldn't find a belt that was long enough, so I went to my local hardware store, bought a high quality belt, found the longest one that they keep in stock. In case he has something happen out on the road, you'll be able to buy this belt anywhere locally. 125 7/8 was the longest belt that they stock, but it is in stock. And then I made the belt system to it. So I've done fabricated all this bracket and mounted these pulleys and guides, and it works like a champ. So let me give you a little closer look at this. All right, now you can see in here my cowl vents, the hints of my K&M filters underneath there. I'm gonna fill these in and level those. See how clean my engine looks now without the coil packs down the valve cover. I've run my plug wires underneath, made me some 2 little remote coil packs down here at the bottom. Once all this car is assembled and the hood and all that's on, you won't even notice they're down there. My coil wires feed straight in. I had to get in here and put extensions on the wires where they used to come into the coil packs right here. Bought extensions, cut all the wiring loose. Still got a little wiring to do in the back. And yeah, that's it. It is coming along. You can see my homemade pulley system. Designed and fabricated everything you see there. I was having an issue with the pulley, the belt moving around on this pulley, so I added one more pulley right there, and that straightened that right up. So, coming along very nicely. Stay tuned.